ॐ वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परम्परम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम् देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः।
अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः।
अर्जुनः उवाच
अर्जुनः उवाच
एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते
एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते
ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः।
ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते
मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते
श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः।
श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः
ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते
ये त्वक्षरम् अनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तम् पर्युपासते
सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्
सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यम् च कूटस्थम् चलम् ध्रुवम्
सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः
सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामम् सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः
ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः
ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतैते रताः
being obsessed with the idea of sannyasa. Arjuna wants to know which is better. He wanted to know which is better. He wanted Shreyas, thinking that sannyasa would be Shreyas, would be more conducive, should be more conducive for gaining Shreyas. So therefore, here you can see Arjuna wants to know here, though he did not ask or use the word sannyasa or karma yoga, but he uses that the upasana, the mode of worship. What kind of Ishvara upasana? What kind of the mode of worship of the Lord is appropriate given the circumstances what is in? Which would be appropriate? Saguna Brahma upasana, would it be appropriate, or Nirguna Brahma upasana? For Karma Yogi, Saguna Brahma upasana is prescribed. For Sannyasi, Nirguna Brahma. Nirguna Brahma upasana. Nirguna Brahma upasana means Nirguna Brahma, it's not upasana, it is nididhyasana, because it is a pursuit of knowledge. Though we use the word upasana, Nirguna Brahma cannot be meditated upon. It is meant for knowing, knowledge. And therefore, it is very clearly Bhagavan said before, there are two lifestyles. Jnana yogena sankyanam, karma yogena yoginam iti lokesmin dvividha nishta varamaya prokta iti. Jnana yogena sankyanam, karma yogena yoginam. It sankyehi prapyate sthanam tatra yogegi api gamyate. Therefore, Arjuna wants to know which is better. Instead of asking sannyasa or karma yoga, he is asking which upasana is better, Nirguna Brahma upasana or Saguna Brahma upasana. And Bhagavan says, there are Ishvara Bhakta. There are Ishvara Bhakta who visualizes Ishvara in various forms and names and worship me. And there are other Ishvara Bhaktas who worship me in terms of Ishvara, Aham Ishvara being being Akshara, Akshara Brahma Upasana. That is Akshara Brahma Upasana. Meaning that Ishvara having no form, no name, no attributes, nothing. Therefore, two kinds of Ishvara Bhaktas are there. Two kinds of people are the sannyasis and Sankhyas and Karma Yogi. Instead of that, here, the word Bhakta is used, two types of Ishvara Bhaktas. One type of Bhakta, they visualize Ishvara in various forms and names and attributes. Other type of Ishvara Bhakta is here Upasakas, Akshara Brahma Upasakas, Upasaka, Upasana, the word we use loosely. So they pursue jnanam, in fact, pursuit of knowledge. So Bhagavan replies to the question of Arjuna. Arjuna wanted to know which is who are yoga vittamaha among these two upasakas, Nirguna Brahma upasakas who pursue knowledge, and Saguna Brahma upasakas who does upasana of Ishvara, Vishwarupa, Vishwarupa, the upasanam, Virat upasanam, etc. So, which is Ke yoga vittamaha. Instead of asking sannyasa and karma, kaha, which is nishaya sakara, instead of asking that, he is asking now here, which upasakas are greater? Ke yoga vittamaha. And Bhagavan said that people who are committed to making spiritual progress through spiritual sadhana, for them, the sadhana is yoga. Yoga is the best means. Meaning Saguna Brahma Upasana is superior to Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Saguna Brahma Upasana, the best means of achieving the goal is through Ishvara Bhakti. As Bhagavan pointed out in the previous chapter, that Ishvara Bhakti, important shloka of the previous chapter, Ananya Bhakti, Mat Karma Krit, Mat Paramaha, Mad Bhakta Sangavarjitaha, Nirvairas Sarvabhuteshu, Yassamameti Pandava. In fact, this is a definition of Ananya Bhakti. What is Ananya Bhakti? Before he said, Bhaktyatu Ananyaya Shakyaha Agam Evam Vidorjuna, Jnatum Drashtum Cha Tattvena Praveshtum Cha Parantapa. So with the Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti, Bhaktya Aham Evam Vidaha Iti Jnatum Shakyaha Tattvena. But how to get this Ananya Bhakti? That Bhagavan said in the next shloka. What Ananya Bhakti? Bhagavan did not say how to get Ananya Bhakti, but defines what Ananya Bhakti is. Definition of Ananya Bhakti is given. Mat karma krit mat paramaha. Do all actions for my sake. You be a mat bhaktaha. So Bhagavan is the paramaha. In keeping Bhagavan in mind, he does all the action. That is why when he does any karma, Ishvara Prityartham, invariably that statement is there. Everything is surrounded around Ishvara. Ishvara Bhaktaha, Sangha Varjitaha, free from attachment, has got love for Lord and free from attachment to things and beings. Nirvairaha, there is no enmity, and Sarvabhuteshu, towards all beings. Nirvairaha, yaha saha mameva yeti. This is Bhakti, is Ishvara Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti, Ishvara Bhakti. This Bhakti and through this Bhakti, which Karma Yogi, that is the one who has got Karma Yoga Buddhi, the Karma Yoga Buddhi has, because Karma Yoga when he does, what is Karma Yoga without Ishvara? So therefore, this bhakti and Ishvara, and this bhakti and karma yoga, that buddhi, the bhakti, the attitude, that ish ananya bhakti and karma yoga buddhi, they go together. They go together because there is no yoga, there is no karma yoga without Ishvara. Otherwise, just minus Ishvara, it is just karma. So therefore, Ishvara bhakti and yoga buddhi. Yoga buddhi, Ishvara karma kurute. Prasada buddhya karma palam svikurute. So therefore, there is bhakti towards the Lord. So therefore, and this bhakti, how this bhakti also can be cultivated. This bhakti can be cultivated by Saguna Brahma Upasana. That is why Bhagavan says Shraddhaya, Paraya Shraddhaya, with Paraya Shraddha, the Shraddha which is unsurpassed, the Shraddha. They do Upasana of me, Saguna Brahma Upasana. That is the most effective means for gaining spiritual progress. That takes a person to moksha. This is what Bhagavan said. Saguna Brahma Upasana is appropriate. It is greater yoga vittamaha. This is said from the standpoint of the Arjuna. Because when Arjuna asks which is best, Saguna Brahma Upasana is the best. Saguna Brahma Upasana implies the person must cultivate that Ishvara Bhakti, Ananya Ishvara Bhakti, as defined in the last shloka of the 5th chapter, combined with, of course, Yoga Buddhi. Yoga is there, then Ishvara is there. Therefore, Karma Yoga Buddhi in combination with Ishvara Bhakti. Karma Yoga is, in fact, Karma Yoga itself is Bhakti. There is no, Bhakti Yoga is not a separate yoga. All Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga is all Karma Yoga only. Karma Yoga means it is Ishvara is involved. Therefore, Bhakti is there. The person being a Karma Yogi doesn't violate the order of Ishvara. That is why Mat Karma Krita, Mat Parmaha, Nirvairaha, Sarva Bhuteshu doesn't entertain enmity towards anything. The goal is finally to identify that Ishvara as oneself. That is the goal. That is Jnanam. But for which the means is this Saguna Brahma Upasana. Therefore, Saguna Brahma Upasakas are Yoga Vittamaha iti mama mata, mama mat, me matam, mama matam iti Bhagavan very clearly said, those who worship me, manasi manaha manasi adhaya, nityayuktaha, ever, always, satatam, nityayuktaha santaha upasate mam upasate. Arjuna asked for comparison. Which one is better? But Bhagavan did not do the comparison. Why? Because Nirguna Brahma Upasakas, Nirguna Brahma Upasakas, they, they are, since Nirguna Brahma, through that, Nirguna Brahma Upasana. So Nirgunam, when we say, that doesn't have any gunam, therefore no form, no names, no attributes. No form, name, no attributes. Then what is that? It is Ishvara who is not different from me. That knowledge. That's why it is Upasana, it is Dhyanam, it is Nididhyasanam. And therefore, another class of Ishvara Bhaktas are there. They are Akshara Brahma Upasakas, Nirguna Brahmasakas, who are they are Jnani. They are Jnani, they are sannyasis, Akshara Brahma Upasakas. Therefore, they worship whom? Aksharam Upasate. Those who worship not worship in meaning the literal sense. They meditate Parameshwara. They contemplate on Parameshwara. They contemplate on Brahma, which doesn't have any form, doesn't have any name, doesn't have any attributes. Still, that is also called upasana. Instead of using the word dhyanam, upasana, the word is used. Upasamipe, asanam, sthiti, state of being. Therefore, the state of being closer to that. What is that? Ishvara. And Ishvara, it is Brahma. Therefore, Brahma upasana, Akshara Brahma upasana, Nirguna Brahma upasana. Nirguna Brahma upasana, how do you do? It is only through manasam, through mind. Manasam karma, it is mind. That's why it is meditation, it is contemplation, it is nididhyasanam. Therefore, those who do nididhyasanam, they finally get the knowledge and identify that they are not different from me. In fact, Bhagavan says they are not different from because they are already have gained me, because knowledge is involved. Therefore, they are already me. Therefore, where is the comparison? Comparison can be done only when between the two of same category. Kevala karma sannyasa and karma sannyasa. Kevala karma sannyasa and karma yoga, that comparison can be made. If yes, which is better? We cannot make comparison between karma yoga and sannyasa. So similarly here also, Akshara Brahma Upasakas, they are me alone. They are Jnani. Saguna Brahma Upasakas are Jignasu. Jnani to Atmai Me Matam iti, as Bhagavan already said. Therefore, Arjuna should not try to emulate the Akshara Brahma Upasakas, but follow Saguna Brahma Upasakas. Therefore, here he says it is better that Karma Yoga is better, that Saguna Brahma Upasana is better. Because Nirgunam is the end. Therefore, that is the Sreshta, that is Shreyas. So, therefore, Ye Paryupasate, those who meditate on Nirguna Brahma, how to meditate? By Shravanam Mananam. So, therefore, and the Shravanam Mananam of that Brahma, which is Aksharam, which is Anirdeshyam, all the words are used to indicate the Lakshanam of Brahma. So, Nirguna Brahma Upasakas, they attain me. When they discover the meaning of these words, Aksharam, Anidesham, Avyaktam, Dhruvam, Achalam, Kutastam, they discover the meaning of these words to be themselves. The Brahma cannot be reached by mind or by word or by any indriya, yato vacho, nivartante. It can be reached only through the buddhi, viveka vairagya buddhi, which can be reached only through the words of the Upanishad. The words also, Brahma Lakshana Shabdaha, the words capable of cultivating this buddhi, and the words capable of taking us closer to Ishvara. So that is Akshara Brahma Upasana, that is Nididhyasanam, that is meditation, that is contemplation. So in the Upanishads, we have the words Brahma Lakshana, Shabdas are there. So here Bhagavan gives certain words. The words, some of the words which give the Lakshanam of Ishvara, Lakshanam of Brahma. So Jnani use these words in their meditation, Akshara Brahma, Upasana they use to direct the Antarkaranam and the Buddhi towards Parameshwara. Aksharam, Anirdeshyam, Avyaktam, Sarvatrakam, Achintyam, Kutastam, Achalam, Dhruvam, Ityadi. All the words are Brahma Lakshana Shabdaha. Each word is meant for meditation, understanding the meaning of the words and see through the meaning of the words and understand that what it means is Parameshwara, who is not different from me. So those who understand, they attain me. The very meaning of the words is me, and that is Parameshwara, me, and those who meditate on this, they are not different from me, they are me alone. So that is what Bhagavan says. And the word Aksharam, which we saw in the last class, Aksharam is that which is not subject to any change, any decay, destruction. It is not mutable. That which is ever as it is, Akshara, not subject to any type of vikalpa, vikara. Is there anything in the world which is not subject to any type of change? Everything changes around. That which doesn't change, that is Brahma. So contemplating on that. So you have to negate that which changes, including your sharira changes, mind changes, sense organs, thoughts, buddhi, everything changes. That which doesn't change, in spite of the changing things all around, that which doesn't change, unchangeable, that is Aksharam. Meditating on the meaning of the word Aksharam, Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Who can do this? Only those who have attained certain eligibility, capacity can do it. Those who have passed through Karma Yoga and gained Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Nishchalyam alone can do, because this is the end for moksha. Understanding the meaning of the words is understanding Parameshwara and understanding of yourself. So Aksharam is not that which doesn't change. Brahma is Briki Dhatu, from that the word Brahma is derived. It is limitless, total, Purnam, infinite. That which is infinite, can it change? No. Therefore, for Brahma, the word Aksharam is used. Aksharam not changeable. That is why Anoraniyan Mavato Magiyan. It is smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. You have to bring in other Upanishad Vakya to corroborate the meditation. And it is Param. Param is that which is incomparable. You can compare two things which are Parichinnam, which are Apurnam, which are limited, which are finite. Can you compare two things which are Param? In fact, there cannot be two things. When you say Param, it has to be one. That is why it is not comparable. It is incomprehensible. Achintyam. Avyaktoyam, achintyoyam, avikaryoyam uchyate. In Gita, the first itself, Bhagavan has given beautiful shlokas for contemplation. Therefore, Aksharam Brahma Paramam. Anirdeshyam, that cannot be described, indefinable. Upanishad describes the indefinable. Yatadadresham agragam agotram avarnam achakshushotram apanipadam ashabdamasparasham avyayam Katopanishad. That is indescribable, indefinable, beyond the reach of the words, the mind and sense organs of action and perception. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Anirdeshyam, which is indescribable, achintyam. It is not describable. When you describe yourself also, you describe, I am so and so, that is all the attributes, the properties of the body, of the upadhi. I am cannot be described. Anirdeshyam. Brahma is also anirdeshyam. I am without the attributes described. Then it is same. I am Ishvara is so I am bigger I. I may be a jiva as a jiva small I. Small I because of the upadhi small I. Because I identify with this parichinna upadhi small upadhi, therefore I am. Similarly, Ishvara is the total. But what is the I, this am? Am, I exist. Am, that is am exist. I, the Chaitanyam. So that is Anirdeshyam. That is Purnam. That is Aksharam, not subject to change. It is, what is the size? There is no size. Anoraniyan, Mahatomagiyan. It is param, incomprehensible. Is it available for any pramana? No. Not available for objectification for any instrument of perception. That is why pratibodha viditam matam, bodham bodham pratiti viditam. Through every cognition it is known, but the cognition, the pratyaya is not that. Through the pratyaya, in the presence of the pratyaya, it is known. That is, pratyaya comes to light in the presence of which light? That light. Is that manifest? No, it is unmanifest. What manifest is only the upadhi. The upadhi which is manifest, through that unmanifest, this avyakta akshara is anirdeshya, avyakta akshara is known as me. No lakshana, no further descriptions of that. Where is it located? If it is so, it is anantaha. That is why sat, chit, anantaha, all pervasive. There is no limitation, space-wise or time-wise, cannot be limited. It is sarvatmaka. It is the self in all the beings. Pratyagatma. That is why in Rudram we do namaskara to everything. Sarvatma Baba. Namaskara we do to stena, to thief. Namaskara to Shushka Vriksha, Harita Vriksha. Namaskara to stone. Namaskara to Vidyut. Namaskara to everything. I mean, everything is Ishvara. Sarvatma Baba. Atma Upamyena Sarvatra, Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha, Sarvatra Ishvara Dakshanam. Therefore, when everything is Ishvara, so where is Ishvara? The question cannot be asked because Ishvara is not limited to any particular location. That Ishvara is me, Aksharam Brahma, Pratyekatma. Therefore, it is Sarvatraham, description of me. All these words are description of the person who does Nirguna Brahma Upasana. He has to see the meaning of these words to be oneself. How is it possible for the one who does Saguna Brahma Upasana? Not possible. Achintyam, another word is there. Not the object of any thought. It is not the object of any thought. It is the content of the thought. Thought is like the ith letter in grammar. You have to peel it and remove it and throw. What is the content? That is me, Atma. Iti. Through these words, upasate. How katam upasate? Already told. Where? Sixth chapter. Atma samstam manakritva. Na kinchit api chintayet. That buddhi which is endowed with viveka and vairagya. So firmly committed to Atma, not thinking of anything else. He does dhyanam. Through that, na kinchidapi chintayet. Through that, the buddhi has to recognize that Atma eva sarvam idam iti. Atma is everything. Not anyata kinchita nasti. Eshavasi midam sarvam. Purnamadaha purnamidam purnat purnam udachyate iti. Therefore, by such upasana, nididhyasanam, he gains a vision of Brahma, which is myself, iti. And other words are also which we saw, kutastam, important word, kutastam. Kutastam, achalam, dhruvam, iti. Kutastha means that which is behind all false appearances, that which is behind the ever-changing, the manifestations of Maya. Maya is that which changes, but that which remains unchanged in spite of all the changing, or that which is the adhara for all change to take place. That is Kutastha. Then what is that? It is Aksharam Brahma alone. It is Aksharam Brahma alone. The thought is there. The thought doesn't have independent existence. No. The thought is sustained by what? The awareness. The awareness by which thought is sustained, that is kutastha. Pratibodha viditam matam. The thoughts are just, they are flowing in the stream of consciousness. Through the thought, we recognize a consciousness. The thought becomes a means. The thought as a upadhi becomes a means to recognize the kutastha chaitanyam. That is achalam, doesn't move. It is all pervading, where it will move. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagata vyaktamurtina, Bhagavan has said. And it is dhruvam. Dhruvam apaye apadanam. It's a beautiful sutra. It's apadana karka. Dhruvam means that which is stationary, that which is nityam, not bound by time. Dhruvam, achalam, from which apadanam, this jagat has come to existence, effect, and that is vivarta only. That is why dhruvam apaye. So all these words of Brahmalakshanam, Aksharam, Anidesham, Avyaktam, Sarvatraham, Achintyam, Kutastam, Achalam, Dhruvam. These words a jnani can understand. Nirguna Brahma Upasakas can understand. Therefore, there is no question of which is greater, which Upasakas are greater. Saguna Brahma Upasakas are not qualified to do Upasana, to meditate on these words and understand. Therefore, where is the comparison? There is no comparison, but Bhagavan says there are another class of devotees, Nirguna Brahma Upasakas, they meditate on me alone. And also it says Sanniyam Yendriya Gramam iti. Sanniyam Yendriya, keeping their Indriya Grama, Karmendriya Jnanendriya Grama, Samuha, well Samyak Niyamya, well restricting, well managing. And Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha, they have got Samabuddhi towards all beings in all situations, and Sarvabhuta Hite Rataha, their intent, their Rataha, they revel in doing the Ita to all the beings. They are committed to serve, interested in the well-being of all the beings. So those who have such characteristics, they alone can pursue Aksharam Brahma and they gain me alone. Gaining me, in fact, it is meaningless because they are me. Therefore, there is no comparison. What is gaining me? It is already Siddha Vishayatvat. They are committed to Akshara Brahma and therefore they understand me and that I am not different from them. In fact, all these words describe the content of the pursuit, the jnanam. Even though they are committed to Akshara Brahma, but they have to live in the world alone. They have to face various situations and take care of the body, etc. Therefore, certain disciplines are given in the form of Samniyam Endriya Gramam. Because otherwise this question will come, why they required Indriya Nigraha? Because they have to deal with people around. They have to live in the world. Even though they are Nirguna Brahma Upasakas, they are jnanis, but still they have to live in the world. They have to, the situation may require certain response. So therefore, they have to maintain the composure in any situation, not overpowered by any provoking situation. And they must derive delight, happiness in the well-being of all the creatures. That requires a lot of understanding, compassion, and maturity. That is not easy. That is not easy. So therefore, all have to be included in the prayer. That's why Sarvabhuta Ite Rataha. Who is interested in Sarvabhuta Ite Rataha? Bhagavan is one who is really wishing well for all. And that this person also wishes. So it means he is not away from the Lord, he is a Lord. So therefore, where is the comparison? But still Bhagavan compared. He said, Karma yogis are the most exalted. Te yoga vittamaha. Saying that, meaning, though he said, they are the yoga vittamaha. He did not say that they reach him. They are yoga vittamaha. Of course, they are yoga vittamaha. They are the most exalted people. Among those who are pursuing in terms of qualification, they are yoga vittamaha. They are yuktatamaha. Among those people who are pursuing in terms of qualification, they are yoga vittamaha. Whereas jnanis, they are not away from me. They are me alone. Iti, without comparing, Bhagavan Krishna has given an answer. This chapter is a little confusing chapter. Arjuna wanted to know categorically, but Bhagavan did not say categorically which is better. Cannot be said. Arjuna keeps on asking, but Bhagavan did not say. Then Bhagavan makes a point, another important point in the next shloka. Having talked about the first shloka, Saguna Brahma Upasakas, and in the next two shlokas, Nirguna Brahma Upasakas, how they do their upasanam, and what is their lot. They prapnuvanti mameva, they attain me alone. Here attaining is not that they travel, they attain, they discovered Parama Ishvara, Jagatkaranam Brahma as themselves. So by meditating on me, Nirguna Brahma, iti, having said, then the next shloka he says, because Arjuna is with all ears, he may think, okay, this is what you are suggesting. Therefore, Bhagavan gives a caution here. This is not easy. This Nirguna Upasana, in fact, it is the highest form of bhakti. So, Saguna Brahma Upasana, that bhakti is Jignasu Bhakti. The Nirguna Brahma Upasana is the Jnani Bhakti. Jnani is not different from the Lord. Therefore, Jnani tu Atmaiva me matam. Therefore, Nirguna Upasana is the highest form of bhakti which leads to moksha, which makes a person free. How? By gaining knowledge, by Jnanena. And Nirguna Brahma Upasana means it is Nididhyasanam. Therefore, by gaining Nishta, the person becomes free. Therefore, it is the highest form of bhakti. But there is difficulty involved in that. It is not easy. Therefore, Yoga Vittamaha, Tesham ke Yoga Vittamaha, if you ask, then he said very clearly, Saguna Brahma Upasakas are Yoga Vittamaha because it is a sadhanam that they have to follow to attain me later. Whereas Nirguna Brahma Upasakas were already attained me. Te mameva praptavanti, they live in me alone. But that is difficult. That he says next shloka. Let us read. Klesho dikataras tesha bhavyakta sakta chetasam
तेषोऽधिकतरस्य तेषाम्
व्यक्तमसक्तचेतसाम्
avyakta hi gatir dukkham te gavadbhirabhapyate.
अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहविप्यते.
It is difficult to visualize a formless form. Yet, in Saguna Brahma Upasana, a form is meditated upon, form of the Lord. The Lord having attributes, names are there. Meditate on the forms and names. Stotram, Sahasranamavali, so many forms. Meditation. In fact, it starts with Jnana Shloka. First, you meditate on the form of the Lord, then your mind, and then these Sahasranamavali can be mentally can be told, and you fix your mind only in the form of the Lord. The mind doesn't go outside the periphery of the form of the Lord. That itself is difficult. If you can chant Vishnu Sahasranamam or Lalita Sahasranamam with the mind fixed on the Lord, only on that shloka, stotram, that itself is a big task. What about fixing the mind or visualizing the Lord who is formless? Formless means all over. Therefore, it is not easy. Therefore, qualifications required to pursue Nirguna Bhakti is difficult to gain. Therefore, Kleshaha Adhikataraha. Kleshaha means difficulty. Karma also Kleshaha. Karma requires to earn money, to earn other things. requires effort, kleshaha. To perform karma, Vedic karma, kleshaha, because you require money, materials and all, the things are involved. This yajna to be done. Yajna karma is not easy. You have to bear the heat, smoke, all those things. Kleshaha, difficult only. But upasana of this Saguna Brahma is more kleshaha. Upasana of Ishvara, Vishwarupa, that involves klesha. That involves klesha. But Upasana of Nirguna Brahma is more klesha. In the Upasana of Vishwarupa Upasana, you have to visualize the whole thing. How do you visualize the whole thing? If you think of one thing, the other thing is left out. So you cannot think of the whole. That is why we choose a particular form and invoke all the forms in that. In our Ishta Devata, we choose our Ishta Devata. In that Devata, we invoke all the forms, the entire cosmos in that form. For that, we require a form. That itself is difficult. It's difficult to focus our mind on the feet of the Lord. From the feet to the head of the Lord, that's Saguna Brahma. To fix the mind on that itself involves a lot of klesha. Whereas in Nirguna Brahma, Upasana, for Nirguna Bhaktas, it is Adhikataraha. Why? Because Avyakta Sakta Chetasam, those who fix their mind upon Avyaktam Brahma, those who meditate on Avyakta Brahma, fix their mind on Avyaktam Brahma. When you fix the mind on Avyaktam Brahma, that is after Shravanam and Mananam, not before that, because you must have knowledge of what Avyaktam is. If you don't know what Avyaktam is, then how will you fix the mind on Avyaktam Brahma? Therefore, Shravanam and Mananam. So Avyakta Brahmani Asaktam, Asamantat Saktam. That is that commitment. That is with the life of leading a life of sannyasa. That is kleshaha. It is difficult. And therefore, kleshaha adhikataraha tesham avyakta sakta chetasam. And Degavat is Degavan. Those who have the abhimana with the body. And therefore, body means with the body, the properties of the body. Abhimana with the body, and therefore, along when the Abhimana is there, all other things come, the fear of death, the fear of everything. So therefore, Jegavadbihi, Gatihi, Avyaktahi, Gatir Dukkam Avapyate. It is very difficult, Dukkam, difficult. So one is Kleshaha Adhikataram. Avyaktahi Gatir Dukkam Jegavadbi Avapyate. Kleshaha Adhikataram. The difficulties in pursuit of Parameshwara are greater for Saguna Brahma Upasakas. It is not easy because the difficulty arises because of Dega Abhimana, the deep-rooted notion of the Atma, the deep-rooted notion of Atma to be the body, because always they say I means the I, Abhimana with the body. The people who are committed to yoga, karma yoga, they have entertained the notion of Aham Karta. Aham Karta means this body. Aham Karta. Kartrutva Buddhi is there for karma yogis. Whereas Jnani, there is no Kartrutva. Aham Karta, Aham Akarta, Abhokta, Jagat Karan Iti. But karma yogis, they try what they do with Kartrutva Buddhi, they do karma, and karma is offered to the Lord. So therefore, that becomes a yoga, karma yoga. Karma yogi, not that they don't have Kartrutva. Of course, they have Kartrutva. Without Kartrutvam, karma yoga itself is not possible. So Kartrutvam is there, therefore Dega Abhimanam is there. So therefore, Dega Abhimanavadbhihi, those who have the notion with the physical body, for them, this Avyakta Gatihi, the path leading to the moksha, it is Avyakta Gatihi, it is Dukkam, that is difficult. Avyakta gatihi. It is dukkam. It is dukkam avapyate. It is hardly reached. It is difficult. It is hardly reached. Therefore, when it is difficult, when Bhagavan says it is difficult, means the person has to get maturity. It takes time. It cannot be done just by will alone. Some homework has to be done. The maturity to gain this knowledge requires time. The person has to lead a life of conscious life of karma yoga. That gives a maturity, jnana yogita. Therefore, only from this we can understand why he called karma yogis or yoga vittamaha, not in terms of the superiority, but in terms of the commitment to the pursuit. Therefore, yoga vittamaha, for those who are unprepared to contemplate all the time. For them, this Nirguna Brahma Upasana is not easy. Not easy, not possible. That is what Bhagavan says. Therefore, only he says those who are committed and those who prepare for this is Karma Yogis, they are Yoga Vittamaha iti. So, where is the comparison then? There is no comparison. Nirguna Brahma Upasana, that is Nididhyasam, the Nishta, leading a life of contemplation, 24/7 Vedanta Chintanam, that is Kleshaha Adhikataraha. It is that Klesha is difficult. Adhikataraha Tesham, Kesham, whose mind are committed to, whose minds are committed to Avyakta Chetasam. It's very difficult to commit the mind to the Avyakta. The mind is not ready. For them, it is difficult. So, therefore, Degavadbhihi, this Avyakta Gatihi is Dukkham. This Avyakta Gatihi, this Moksha Gatihi is Dukkham. It is with difficulty. Gatihi is this Aksharatmika Avyakta Gatihi. It is Dukkham Bhavati. It is difficult. Degavadbhihi, Degavimanavatbhihi, Kleshaha Adhikataraha Bhavati. Iti Bhagavan says. The next shloka, the next shloka, Bhagavan will talk about the Karma Yogis who keep their mind in the Lord on how they do the upasana, how they meditate. That he says, and then he gives a comparison that we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. Gives a comparison of different the sadhana categories of people who do the sadhanas. We'll see that next class. Dhanyavadaha.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಕಿಶೋರನ್ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಶಂಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸಜ್ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Friday I couldn't attend the